make certain that you're not just punching a hole through to China, okay? They give you some additional support. But those outriggers are to give you the opportunity to get everything level. Now make certain that you follow through with all the safety inspection information on those outriggers, that you store them properly, that you set them properly, with proper distance out. Okay, so you've got articulating and telescoping, so you got telescoping from here, right? So same situation from there. The difference between these, and there's going to be a quiz on there, telescoping crane is a stiff boom or stick boom crane, tubes that fit inside each other. Okay, hydraulics, you always want to check the hoses each morning before you actually go out and put that on your truck for the first time. Check all the hydraulic hoses are making certain that they're solid, no leaks, no issues, no extra grease or anything else around them. You want to inspect your cables and make certain that there's no frays or anything else to go along with those, which run through the boom. Okay, articulating crane, we're not going to do with that. As you can see, the old Suburban.
There's a little power on it.
Okay. Okay. Each crane has its own operating manual, okay? And that operating manual is specific to that particular crane, okay? So the requirements on that is, number one, you're aware of the boom, you're aware of the extension of the boom, you're aware of the cabling of the boom, and you're aware of the knuckles, okay? So that's the main things from there. Second is all the hydraulic hoses, connections on both sides, nothing's frayed, nothing's leaking, no grease, and that they are actually stamped for that particular use. You need to make certain all the electrical switches are covered, okay? They should be some type of plastic or rubber coating on it and stuff. They shouldn't be metal, so it's going to give you some type of shock protection if there's something from there. You want to make certain that if there's any rust around the case and stuff, that it's painted properly. It has the original stickers. If for any reason any of the stickers are missing, you need to get in touch with the manufacturer and get those stickers back on there. That's part of OSHA's requirements anytime that they go and inspect an incident for that particular case. Okay? Operating manual does not oversee or does not supersede any governmental codes or requirements. In some states, in Washington State, they require you to be NCCCO certified, so you have to have that $2,500 class to go and get certification for that. So states can be up and above like with that. You also should keep a copy of the operating manual, both a copy here at the shop and a copy in the truck with you at all times. Okay, inspection and maintenance. Okay, they must be inspected on a monthly and an annual basis. And you have to do a visual inspection each day that you go out with that. I've got one form that I use for cranes from another company that I've never found anything better. It's very involved, but it gives you both a monthly and annual on one inspection form. So I'll make sure that's provided to you. All right. Another thing to deal with is not only are you dealing with the crane, you're dealing with the excess weight that's going to be on the chassis of that truck. So you want to make certain that the chassis of the truck is in good shape, which means springs, suspension, okay, tires, okay, because they're going to be handling the extra weight that you're going to be picking up. So that weight's going to be increasing as far as where that boom's at and as you're moving it over the top of the truck. Okay, so frequent inspections are daily, periodic inspections are monthly and annually. Here's your control box, okay. Most of these are going to be sealed, okay. If it's not, it may be designed for your specific, boy, I'm having trouble today, specific truck, okay, so just make certain everything's in good shape from there. Okay, startup and during the operation of the day that you're using the crane should be inspected prior to each use, okay. You're going to check everything according, lights, battery, brakes, check your tire pressure to make certain everything's looking good, wheel and lug nuts. Then you're also going to check all the safety equipment that you have, such as, number one, there's going to be a chart that's going to tell you how far that you're going to extend that boom, okay? So since you're a slide boom, telescoping boom, and stuff, that's going to tell you the angle attack that you can use for certain size information. So make certain that you don't exceed the size limit for the reach that you have here, okay? It's really important when you're dealing with articulating, and articulating is used in a lot of New England or down in Florida because you have 1/6 of an acre lots and they have to come in and go over the top and come straight down. And it's very important that you make certain that you're aware of these weights and extension limits from there. Also, you want to make certain that you don't have any power lines anywhere close to you while you're working at that point in time. If these decals for any reason are not present or not legible, then get in contact with the manufacturer of that crane and make sure that they send you copies of those to get them updated. Okay? Anti-tube lock system. Couple things to take a look at there is where you actually have the cabling system coming down to your attach. Okay? Hydraulic systems, you want to make certain that you have the hydraulic information for capacity, the amount of fluid that it's going to hold at that time, making certain that you check all the hydraulics each month to make certain that they're in good shape, they're good tight, no leaks. Okay? Your individual controls, make certain that they're all free for movement. Okay, if anything's bent or if they've been hit and everything else, it has to be taken out of service. And check all your remote control functions. That should be on your annual checklist to check to make certain everything's functioning properly. Okay, so you checked your lights, you checked your pins, sheaves, nuts, bolts, everything along the way for your monthly inspection, so you're ready to go. You're doing your walk around to make certain that you've got everything together, hardware and electrical systems. Okay, never remove any safety or cover guards. Okay, if you have a guard on a particular pinion or clip, make certain it stays with that and use that on there. Do not take that off just to make it easy access for you. Okay, hooks, check for cracks and damages. Clasp, hatch. Your straps here need to be checked each month also. Okay, if there's any sign of fraying or any sign of extension for any reason at all, they need to be replaced. Go ahead and take them out of service. All right, so you've checked everything just like anything else. You're going to check it for nuts and bolts, alphabet soup, A to Z. Again, because you are dealing with moving propane equipment, you're going to have a fire extinguisher on there. So it's going to have to be 18-pound A, B, and C. Okay, it has to be easy access, fully charged, working pressure, signed off each month, and inspected each month.
Are you guys checking those monthly? They need to be. If they're on the trucks, we're not getting to them, we're getting to the ones in here at the month. Somebody needs to be responsible for on the trucks, monthly.
Yeah, that'll be part of the checklist. We'll go over from there. Okay, so you've got your monthly inspection, your annual inspection. Okay, your periodic inspection is going to be pretty much the same list from there. The main situation is going to be your PTO drive there to make certain that your transmission, no leakage, no vibration, all your torques are correct. Okay, pumps and motors along with the hydraulics to make certain that you've checked the level at that time. Make certain that all the seals are correct. Okay, same thing for damage and hoses. All right. Any other type of operational ranges, so anything that you're going to have to assist to that. So if you're going to have anything going with your outriggers here to check those, make sure they're in good shape. That the feet have not been damaged. Sometimes you'll have a weld or something break loose from there. Fire extinguisher in the manual. Okay. All of this is part of the inspection checklist, and I'm just not going to go over so much of that from there. Okay. Every 6 months, if that crane has not been used, that crane has to go back through a full annual inspection. Okay, so you have to do a complete inspection instead of a periodic inspection. Any type of preventive maintenance used with the crane, only an authorized service personnel can work on that particular system. If you're a good shade tree mechanic, go ahead and do it and don't let me know about it. Just let them know everything's looking good. Okay. Always make certain that you have the boom lowered at all times. Never make the mistake of driving off with the boom extended or the telescope extended, because you're just going to cause yourself extra heartache and extra damage. It happens too many times, okay, because everybody gets in a hurry because they think, man, I got it up there, it's time to get on, get gone. I got somewhere to meet somebody for lunch or something. So be aware of that. anytime that you do have to take anything out of service, it's gonna be the same tag out information. Okay, just like you tag out a tank, you need to red tag your piece of equipment. So everybody knows that you have issues with it and it needs to be taken care of and what the issues are and stamped on there. Preferably, you should have a manual shutoff on the PTO itself that you can actually pop, okay? So you can take it out at the same time. Just think of this as a lockout, tag out situation. So if you're working on electrical equipment, because this is electrical, okay, if you're gonna work on it, you need to tag out that box that's tagged out, but nobody comes along behind you and throws a switch. Okay, preventive maintenance, we're still going at that. Okay, each crane has its individual load chart, and that chart goes with that crane, okay, and that chassis. So make certain that you know what those specific limits are. Now, you're only dealing with, the biggest thing you carry is a 1,000-gallon tank, right? It's not gonna be an issue. You just wanna make certain it's there with the truck, there in the maintenance manual, it's legible and it's readable. So you're not gonna be having any issues from there. Again, here's where you're gonna have the stability. It's always a good thing. Here they're using blocks there. For us, we use usually a 3-inch piece of cypress that's usually 12 by 12 to give us additional footing. So we're in the mud and the muck and the sand. So it gives us something for additional security there. When it's not, you know, the ground's soft and everything, you can just, like I said, punch a hole through each eye. Okay, again, here's your load charts for your distances, how far you can pick up and what you can pick up. Anybody got a guess about what size, about how much your tank weighs?
Which one?
1,000 gallon?
It's a couple thousand hundred.
26.
Is it 26?
26.
That's why you're the safety director.
He was waiting for that one. Jeopardy, bam. Okay, so you can very easily be aware of that. Just use 1,000. That will give you the best reference and everything else. You only keep that one number in your head. You're okay with everything else that you're carrying. Okay, you always have to know the capacities. All right, so here you've got. Now this is an articulating. It tells you exactly what you're going to be pushing for what actuation. For you, it's going to be real easy. Boom's either going to go left or right. Boom's going to either extend or contract. You're not going to have to worry about that. The only other thing that you have to worry about is the up and down. Okay, here's your telescopic, pretty much the same type of chart. Okay, same type of one-dimensional chart that you're going to have, and size and weight loads along with your cylinders. Okay, when moving, all right, always number one, set the brakes on your vehicle. All right, make certain it's in a good position. Next thing you want to do is you want to set your outriggers. Make certain that your outriggers are set. Now, does your crane have the level notifications on either side? Okay. Some cranes actually have a level sight on the side to let you know where you're at in relationship to the actual ground. Okay, so it gives you a more warm and fuzzy feeling. You can sit there and say, okay, just like an RV. You know, you can level it up and have your outriggers out accordingly. If it's not a problem. Okay, you can pretty much eyeball it. It's going to be level and you can work from there. Okay. Hooks and slings. Okay, you know, 2 slings are pretty much going to take care of any type of cylinder that you get. Again, you're not going to lift by the lifting lugs. Okay, you're always going to use the slings. Unless that tank is 100% empty, you must use slings. Okay? Even if that tank has 5% in it, you cannot lift it with the lifting lugs. Lifting lugs are only for just the tear weight of that tank only. So you must use slings for lifting. Okay, hand signals. Okay, you need to be trained in the hand signals. If you are using them, how many are using them right now? Or do you know what the hand signals are?
Usually there's only one person there, so.
Okay, all right. So this is just to let you know what's going on. So you've got all your chains and everything else, slings and
It's
ropes.
usually just the thumb signals.
The main thing is this. If you want it to go up, Okay, you hold your hands out like this, whether it's left or right. Whatever direction, your thumb's gonna point in the direction, okay? So if you want it to go up, you hold your hand out like this and you're gonna go like this. That means keep lifting, and when you actually stop, that's when your operator's gonna stop, okay? If you want the lift to go down, same situation. You're gonna do this with your hands to let him know. Keep going down until you stop, then he's gonna stop it there. Those are gonna be the main hand signals for up and down. Okay, how to sling it, double basket loops, you know, whichever you wanna go with. Again, I'm gonna try to get through a bunch of these. Okay, so here, as far as your individual straps, now are you getting them from just somebody local here? Or are you getting them from
Berquist.
You got them from Berkeley? Oh, okay. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you know everything's ready to
No,
roll.
it seems like I should have found some cheaper ones.
That's what you're like. There we go. See what you get me into?
Well, it's
I'll be
like that.
shopping tomorrow for
Yeah.
different place.
Yeah, if you get them from Berquist, then everything's rated okay. So I don't have to really go through the ratings or anything else like that either. Okay? So, once you put your pin in, get ready to lift, make certain everybody's staying away. Anytime that you're doing this, if you have a customer out there, he needs to be a minimum 10 feet away, okay? Anytime that you're doing any type of this work, so you let them know, listen, you need to stay back, take care of this. You want to test lift it before you actually extend the boom. So you want to actually just raise it about a foot, foot and a half to make sure everything's supported and everything settles correctly as far as your straps and everything else. And once you're feeling secure on it and you give it a good push and make certain it's secure, then you can go ahead with the lift. You can lift it up and extend the boom accordingly, providing the signals that you need, okay? Now, if you got a second person, you got one person that's scouting, the other person's gonna have the controls. He's gonna be the one that's gonna be handling the situation. And the operator of the crane, whether it's the remote or whatever, he's always in charge. The other person is actually gonna be, you know, making the signals from there. Okay, so your hand signals, okay? Up, down, you know, pretty much first grade, all right? Keep it from there. Now, when you want to actually move it, you're just sitting there going like this. Keep operating. Okay, now as far as extension, okay, it's flat out. And you're gonna be moving your arms this way, okay? As far as actual operation for your swing arms. And for a stop, pop it right up. Emergency stop. Everybody knows that signal, okay? Penalty, all right? And if you have to hoist it up,
Do we deliver to East Rochester?
Yeah, I was just there.
Yeah, yes.
Right, but not too far south of
Make it to
30.
Just there yesterday.
okay. So the hoist, as far as vertical and stuff, then all you're doing is doing this, okay? So wind it up, wind it down. Same thing for a lower, okay? Go down from there and raising the boom tips, as you can see from your hands, and you're extending the fingertips. Now again, you're only gonna need that for this quiz, okay? So I'm gonna give you the answers anyway, so we'll get it from there. Okay, power line safeties,
We're using them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So answer as much as you can in there and we'll do it from there.
That's something
Right.
for you.
So again, make certain that you're aware. You can't set a tank within 6 feet of any vertical power line, 600 volts. Okay, so number one, you shouldn't have that, but you may have power lines that are close to the house, so if the arm articulates out or swings out, there's a chance that you hit that. So you may look at a tank and say, okay, there's no power lines, but where the truck is at or where you may swing, you may have power lines in there, so be aware of what you're gonna run into there. Okay, once you've observed everything, you conduct your visual sight. Now, not only for a visual sight, anytime that you do a tank set, whether it's with this, whether it's whatever you do a tank set, before you set that tank, you need to go out there and take a look and take your can of spray paint and spray paint everything that you've got, such as, okay, listen, I see electrical line, that's no big deal. Okay, I've got the measurement 10 feet away from the property line, 10 feet away from the house. But you also have to ask them, say, have you got any underground low voltage lines, okay, for lighting, for any irrigation? And you need to mark that, spray paint that also, because that's what you're gonna be aware of, because you're gonna have to dig a trench to that tank. So count in 2 different sections from there.
Downspouts. Oh, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We cut through it all spouts, cut through all kinds of.
All right.
I didn't know that was there.
Always assume every power line is always energized, okay? Make certain if you do have power lines and you have to make any kind of adjustments, call the local authorities, let them come out there and take care of it, all right? Okay, so there's the main thing, 20-foot clearance and 50-foot clearance. Most houses are gonna be in the 350,000 range, so it's gonna be a 20-foot clearance from wherever your truck's at to give you more than enough room. Okay, commercial or multi-residentials are gonna be 50 foot from there. All right, now, okay, rulings with the cranes. That's all power line. Okay, now, before you even take a crane out, okay, since we're gonna talk real world now. It's only one of you delivering a tank, all right? Under the new OSHA rule, which is 1910-1200, means you have to have this.
I have to take a 30-minute nap.
Now?
For each tank? Before.
You do, you have to do a timeout. Not kidding,
Yes.
I wish I was.
What is this, like E-log now or what?
Jeff, you gotta shorten up your nap, son.
All right.
From an
So-
hour back to 30 minutes.
Oh, I
To
saw
keep from paying a week's worth of hotel and a week's worth of training and $2,500 just to get your license, this is the new crane rule, okay? And this is how we have to get around it. The new crane rule says, and let me see if I can blow that up a little bit for you so you can read it a little bit better. Okay, so first, is your company delivering to a construction? Now, there is no set thing. If they are planting flowers in their yard, OSHA considers it a construction site. Okay, it's considered a construction site if you're having to run a new piece of line. Okay, now if an existing tank, we'll get into that. But if it's a construction site, then you have to come over to here. Are you replacing a tank of the same size? Okay? If you are, if you're swapping out a 500 for a 500, it's a bad valve and everything else, you do not have to have certification. You can go ahead and drop it and make the switch. Okay? But if you're swapping from a Faro tank to your tank, or swapping from a 250 to a 500 tank, then you have to come out there and you have to drop the tank, and then you have to go take lunch for about 30 minutes and come back. You have to leave the premises. Since it's only one of you, you're the crane operator and the installer. Okay, that won't work under this rule. You have to drop the tank, go away, if nothing else, just drive around the block and stuff, and then come back, and then you can install the tank.
What does that do? That makes no sense.
This is all part of, listen, they fought this for 12 years. I'm just telling you how we have to get around it legally, okay? Because we are
So
not
how
cranes.
is it any legal just by leaving a half hour and coming back? What's it gonna change?
Because nobody can prove
They're
that you were the
saying-
same guy.
Absolutely.
Oh, gee whiz.
Yep, yep.
I'll
So-
put a wig on when I'm on my way.
Wig and a skirt?
Let me tell you what these fines are starting out at. Basic fine is starting out at
Don't tell these
$10,000.
guys all this.
Yes. Yeah, basic fine is
Sit right there
$10,000.
for a day, Jeff.
So carry you 2 different color shirts,
Yeah.
a black and a red one, okay?
Depending how hot it is, you do that anyway.
But, okay, you go have lunch or you drive around the block and you come back. Since it's just one of you and setting it, now if 2 of you went out there, whenever you're driving the bobtail, whenever you're driving the service truck, you can say, okay, I'm driving the service truck, I'm the one setting the tank. And the bobtail driver can say, I'm the one that's doing the installation. Then you can do an immediate install,
Wow.
okay?
This is only for construction site.
Yeah.
And that's where, and he said that's where someone's planting flowers is considered.
Or if you're
construction.
trenching a
Yeah,
line.
if
What?
they're doing repairs on their house, that's considered a construction site. So,
If we got a trencher out with.
In
what new
Northeast
line is.
Ohio, that is not considered a construction
Yeah.
site.
now here's the thing about it is, the biggest thing is, you know, this is a screwy rule, but we fought it for 12 years, we couldn't get
Yeah.
away from it, all right? And it shouldn't have been an industry in the first place,
What's the
right? But we
chance of-
have to,
What's the chance of getting caught?
for a small company out in the boondocks, probably not, but you never know when it's gonna happen. And if you happen to be the one, guess what, you're the poster child.
I think the big
Yeah.
picture is, for safety wise, it's that timeout. It's just like when you're loading a gun
Right.
and unloading a gun. You think that it's empty, you look in that chamber, but it's because you have this expectation in your mind that it's empty. And so they even say the same thing. You look, hey, I'm unloaded. You look away, you do something else, then you look and you check again, because there is that blindness